Hey folks, it's Matt Miller from Ditch That Textbook, and today I want to talk to you about screencasts in the classroom. So screencasts are these videos that let you take a video basically of what's going on your screen, or can record audio like of your voice, can record a video from your webcam from like a picture of your face. And when kids use this in the classroom, they're able to demonstrate learning in a way completely differently than you could through a traditional writing assignment. For the longest time, we've done the kinds of assignments that are easy to turn in whenever we do digital work. So there's been, a lot of documents, a lot of stuff submitted digitally where kids just type it in. To have kids actually create something like a video and turn it in, I think sometimes we're a little hesitant to do that because we're not totally sure the technical aspects of it, and is it going to be a lot harder to create? Is it going to be a lot harder to grade? That's where I think screencasts are great, because kids are able to record these right off of their device. Like right away, you're able to turn in a screencast video just as easily as you would turn in a document. And with a little bit of advice and with the right kind of workflow, I think you can grade screencast videos just as quickly and easily as you can with a document. So what we're going to do today is we're going to talk about one of the tools that I love when it comes to screencasting, some ideas on how you can use it in the classroom, and then some tips to make the most of your time. And so let's jump right in. This is, by the way, part of this video kind of goes along with a post that I wrote called Netflix Style Learning with Screencasts. Because I think with Netflix, it's kind of like a library of videos. And if we have kids creating their own videos to show their learning, just think about when they're able to go back and look at those videos. It's almost like they're looking through their own library of videos. And then when they can look at other kids' videos, it really is kind of like a Netflix for learning. Screencastify. This really is one of my favorite screencasting tools, especially for the classroom. And so here's what Screencastify does. Like it says on the screen here, it's a lightweight screen recorder for Chrome. So what it's going to do is it's going to record what's happening on your screen. It can record audio of you talking if you want, and then it can also even record a little webcam that it puts down in the corner. The thing that I love about this for the classroom is that it really is easy. If you haven't used it before, like it says on the screen here, it says it's a one-click install, but you click this and then you have to click to allow it. So I feel like it's kind of a two-click install instead of one click, but it's really simple to set up. And so once it's done, you've got this little icon up here in the corner. Now, the first time that you use it, you've got to allow your camera and you've got to connect it to your Google account and all of that. But once that's done, it's really just as easy as doing this to record. So we click on the little Screencastify icon right up here, and then it pops open this little window. And so you've got the option of recording just one of the tabs in your window, of the entire desktop, like the entire screen, or you can just record through your webcam. Those are some of your options. So I'm going to use the desktop one here. You can decide whether to record with your microphone, if you want to have a little embedded webcam down in the corner, kind of like what you're seeing right here. And then you can even have it show a preview window of what it's going to look like in the end. So we set all of that up, and then now it's recording. It's recording what's going on my screen right here. So I can keep it running just as long as I want. I know with Screencastify, they give you, on the free plan, you can record up to 10 minutes. So record as much as you want on the screen. It can record your webcam. And then whenever you're done, you just hit the Screencastify button again, and then you hit end recording. And once you've done that, and then you've got this preview right here. And so it shows you what you just recorded right here in the screen. And so from here, this is where it gets really great. So from here, you can save your file. You can save your video to your disk, like to whatever device you just recorded it on. But then here's where it gets really great. You hit this share button, and you can either upload it directly to your Google Drive, or you can upload it directly to YouTube. So the Google Drive option is really great if you have Google Classroom, because if students upload their videos to Google Drive, as soon as it's on Google Drive, it's a video file. And then if you set up an assignment where kids need to turn in a video file to complete the assignment, then really all they have to do is they just go to turn in a file in that assignment, they add the video, and then boom, they turn it in. And that's where it's just as easy to turn in a video file of a screencast as it is to turn in a document. And you can, of course, do this with learning management systems like Canvas or Schoology or whatever. And then, of course, if your students have access to YouTube, this could be even better because they can record and save to YouTube. And then if they publish it to their channel, now they're producing their video for a much bigger audience. So you have that potential too. So we'll close this out. And that kind of shows you the basics of how Screencastify works. And of course, there are some other screencasting tools that you can use too. And you can see all of the tools and lots of ideas and lots of tips at the blog post that I wrote along with this that you can find at ditchthattextbook.com/Netflix. So if you type that in, you can see the whole blog post. So once you've got a screencasting tool up and running and you're ready to start recording, what do you do with it? Well, I've got like 14 ideas of how you can use them on that same blog post I was just talking about. Let me pull out a couple of them that I think are really easy to do, some of my favorite ones. And so one that's really, really simple is just to have students create slides and then start recording, and then they can talk while they're flipping through their slides. I think this is probably one of the most typically used screencast ideas out there. It doesn't like reinvent education or anything. It's not one of those like earth-shattering new ideas, but it is something that can really work, especially if you want to give an option to students who need to do presentations but are nervous about speaking in front of a group. Sometimes just speaking to their camera by themselves can kind of like get rid of those inhibitions. So if you want to give them that option, this could really work. So really all you do is you set up your presentation, and then before you hit the present button, you open up Screencastify or start the whatever video recorder that you want to use. And then you start recording the screen. So right here we would hit record desktop and we would start recording, and then they would hit present. And then now you've got a full screen of all of your slides, and you're able to flip through those slides and talk, and it records. So that's one really easy way that you can start using screencasting in the classroom. Another one, now this one's kind of cool. I kind of like this. Let's say that you're doing a presentation about a location, and you want to do a video about that location. So instead of doing slides, what if you go over to Google Maps and you use the Google Maps Street View? And so I'm going to pull up, let's go to Indianapolis, capital city of the state that I live in. So just an easy one to go with. So let's say we're doing some sort of presentation about Indianapolis. And so we start our video recording, we start our screencast recording. And once it's there, now I can start talking and saying, okay, I'm going to take you on a virtual field trip or like a virtual tour of Indianapolis. If I do that, all I really need to do is I take my cursor and I come down here to where this little yellow guy is. If you've never played with this is pretty cool. So you click and drag the little yellow guy onto the screen. Let's take him over here to the Indianapolis Motor Speedway. This is kind of like one of the iconic places in the Indianapolis area. So we drop him down here and we say on our, and it pulled up like the perfect location right here, because this is one of the most iconic parts of the Speedway. So we say on our virtual tour, our first stop is the Indianapolis Motor Speedway. And so we drop you down right here on the Motor Speedway, and you can kind of look around. And so they could even be reading from a script and say, the Indianapolis Motor Speedway was built in 1909. It was somewhere around there. And it was used as a dirt track for a while, I think. I'm just coming up with the stuff off the top of my head. And so you can even kind of like click along. Oh, look at this. You know, on this tour, you're actually following this little car along, which is kind of cool. And so you can have them go through the different parts of it and talk about it, whatever location you want to use. And then whenever you're done, you hit back. Remember, the screencast is rolling this whole time. And so you can go to a different location. And then you can say our next stop is in the downtown, like right downtown in Indianapolis at Monument Circle. And so Monument Circle is another big part of Indianapolis. And so you just drag the little yellow guy down here, drop him down. Fun fact, I proposed to my wife on Monument Circle in Indianapolis. It was on the other side of it, like all the way over here. And so you walk them around this spot down here, and then whenever you're done with the tour, then you just stop your video recording. on the screencast tool, whatever one that you use. And then another option is if you're using something like Screencastify and you load up the little window here, you don't have to take video of your screen. You can actually just take video with your camera. So imagine this, you use your camera, you have your microphone running, and now you're able to use your laptop or your Chromebook or whatever just to record out of the webcam, kind of like what I'm doing right here. So if you do that and you hit record webcam, now you could do something like a talk show, or a news broadcast. So now you've got kind of like the talking head video, kind of like the one that you see right here, and your students are able to talk. So imagine you're talking about something that happened in history. You could be like a news reporter on the scene reporting from the Civil War or from the March on Selma or whatever. It was something that happened in history. And so now they're reporting it as if it's a first-person event instead of looking back at it historically. So that's one easy thing that you could record using a tool like this too. All right, so let's talk tips real quick. What are some things that you can do to help make your screencast a success? So I've got 2 of them for you. There are actually, I think, 9 of them on my blog post, ditchthattextbook.com/Netflix. So you can go check all of those out if you want to. But 2 ideas that can help you out. One of them is before you record your screencast video, it's a good idea to plan out what you're going to do. The easiest way that I've found to plan out a video like this is to do a storyboard. Now you don't have to have anything fancy, but I've got a storyboard template right here. You can actually get it by going to ditchthattextbook.com/storyboard. And so this is just a Google Drawings template that I created, really simple stuff. And so if you go here, you can print this off. You could even make it digitally. I think it might just be easier for the sake of time to have it printed off and just do pencil sketches on it. But if you sketch out kind of like part by part what's going to be in that video and the kind of stuff you're going to say, if you have a planned out video, it's going to go much more smoothly. And that goes for students and for teachers, whoever's making these screencast videos. Then the second thing that you can do is when you're watching student screencast videos, if you don't want it to eat up all of your time that you have for planning and grading and all of that, one little thing that you can do to save time on grading them is to watch them at a faster speed than they were recorded. So if we look over here at this video that I created, this is just a video on YouTube. And then what you can do, it works this way with YouTube and with Google Drive. So if your students save to Google Drive, the interface is going to look exactly the same. So if you click on the settings button, now you've got speed. And so what if you change that speed to 1 1/4, 1 1/2, or even 2 times the speed that it was recorded at? So depending on what the students have recorded, you may be able to watch it at 2 times the speed and get all the information you need out of that video to be able to grade it accurately and to leave good feedback. But you may want to watch it a little bit slower. So you pick the speed, but those are some of the options that you have available to you. So imagine if you wanted to try to grade these videos twice as fast as you could if you're watching them at normal speed. This is one little tip that you can use to save yourself time on grading. All right, so those are some of the tools. I showed you Screencastify here. I've got some other options on my blog post. You got ideas, you got tips. If you've never tried this screencasting thing before, it is pretty cool, and I think your students are gonna love it. So head over to ditchthattextbook.com/Netflix for more ideas, and I'll see you on the next video.